All right, so I got that deal off, and you can see all the wires are there, and they're a little bit hard to tell what the color is this far away because they were painted, which is not a good idea. But you can see that electrical box up there. But what you can also see is that when I had a tape and texture person come in, they masked they masked around that light, but they didn't actually take the light off and paint all the way through the ceiling. So thankfully, I actually still have some leftover paint. It might look a little funky, but I'm going to grab my paintbrush and just paint all the way up to the electrical box. I'm going to take care of that and then be right back with you. Okay, just a quick thing on painting since we're here. The key is to go slow. That is how you avoid drips and spills and the whole shebang. As you can see, my dog Annie got a hold of this paintbrush, but I was recommended to go with this brand Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. And I have to say, I've had this brush now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and it's really held up. As you can see, it cleans up really well. So I do recommend investing in at least one really good brush, even just for touch-up jobs like this. So I'm going to go slow, and then also I have a wet sponge with me, and you can see this jar of olives I finished today, and I just put some of the paint in there, and I've already had to clean up a couple of drips and spills on the floor and different things. So it's just really important to go slow and take your time when it comes to painting. Okay, I'm going to paint this, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got done with the painting, no drips, no spills, and how I did that is I was lucky enough to have a really fantastic painting contractor help to paint my rental house in Helena when I bought it back in 2020, like right as the pandemic was breaking. It was just wild. And so what I made sure to do is to always edge my brush, and what he recommended was that you don't want to put too little paint on, but you don't want to put too much on. So like in this jar, I couldn't get it all the way in, so I was kind of tilting the jar, and then I would always edge the brush on the edge to get the big massive drips on, but still have a decent amount on the brush to then make sure that the coverage was there. I took my time. I went back through 2 or 3 times to make sure, because it's a textured ceiling, that I got all the little nooks and crannies with little blobs on the tip of this brush to get in there to make sure that there weren't any, the old color was showing through. That's another really nice thing about this angled brush, which is why that contractor recommended this brand and this style of brush to me if I was going to have like one brush in the house, is that you can do a lot of different things with it because it's angled. All right, so I'm going to wash this all up, and then by then it should be dry enough that I can start putting up, getting the wires hooked into that deal and go from there. I'll be right back. All right, you can see that the paint is still glistening a little bit where I kind of glopped it onto the areas where, the texture was in the ceiling. So it's not ideal, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of dry enough to at least move forward to the next phase. So I also looked at like what are the mounting options, and those 2 screws that you see up there that are part of the electrical box I think are going to be just fine. The box itself looks like it's mounted really well up into the ceiling, and I don't think I'm going to use the larger wood screws because I just don't think it's needed. So I'm going to get started on that, and I've got the instruction booklet on the ladder as well as the piece that I'm going to install. And so there's just 3 wires. There's black, white, and then the bare grounding wire. So it should be pretty easy to get that going once I get this humdinger actually installed. So let's give it a try. All right, this is taking forever to unscrew, so I think I'm going to use the drill on the other one. Happens to merge right. This is a really long screw. There it goes. Okay. Great. That was faster. That's why we use drills. All right. So now I'm going to line this guy up, and I want to also kind of look at where the wires are so that I can kind of easily pull those through. Let's see now. These wires are really stiff, but they are bendable. And there's pieces of the material they use for the ceiling kind of coming off here. So I want to put it like so, where, well, actually I wonder if these could go underneath. Kind of experimenting here. All right, let's see, what does the booklet say? When in doubt, consult the booklet. See, the picture shows it coming from above the area, like above this thing here. But I don't know, the wires are so stiff, we'll see. But since that's what it's saying, that's what I'll try for. And since the wires are coming out in this direction, I'm putting the wire attachment piece also in that direction, because that should hopefully make it easier. See, I just don't know if that's going to work because of how it's... how flush it is to the ceiling, you see. So if we try it like this, then these wires still should be able to wrap around. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot better. All right, now there's something about this isn't totally flush. What I'm also noticing is that the space for the screws is too far apart. So hang on here, I gotta rethink this. Okay, there's that one. And yeah, that one is way over there. So another option is going to be maybe these guys right over here. I don't know if that's going to work, but they are far enough apart. Let's see, where is that thing? Right there. Right there. I don't even know if these screws are going to fit. So we'll just have to give it a go. So one thing